Got my eyes straight ahead, got my head in the game. With the red light on, I'm just waiting for the change. Keep my head down low.
I heard about the story. I was reading the article, and you come to realize our Australian governments treat their people like we are flipping idiots. And I think maybe we are because we just go along. We allow these things to happen. In Victoria, Victoria is probably the worst. Remember the start of this decade, and we had that little thing happening, that little global thing happening, and Victoria was the worst. They were proud. Well, if you believe the media anyway, they were proud of the fact that they had all these lockdowns going on. That's what it seemed to be, and everyone was dobbing in their mates who wasn't going along with the lockdowns. And Dan Andrews was having all those little media releases, and he was keeping the people safe, keeping the people safe. Turns out that he's dragged that state into the worst, what's looking like it's going to be the worst financial crisis for Victoria that they've ever seen, that they've ever had. They are in absolute turmoil when it comes to their finances. But it doesn't stop. It hasn't stopped. Well, they've got the new premier. She is, I won't, oh, she is, she's not the, she's not the best. We'll just put it that way. There's a few choice words I think everyone would like to say about the Victorian government and their leadership, but just not the best. But you think these people are just they're taking the out of us all what they're doing. Obviously, Victoria has had a lot of issues with crime, violent crime over the last few years. Now, you know, far be it from me as a former police officer to say that maybe you should be spending more money on policing programs on fighting crime. Maybe we shouldn't be allowing some of the people that we allow into this country. If you've got a history of it, or if you, there's a lot of people that we're allowing into the country that should not be here. They should be immediately. You commit a crime, the very next day, you're caught, the very next day, you should be on a plane, bang, parachuted out over the nation that you came from, and that's it. If you're a parent who has a teenager or adult, whatever, and you're not controlling that child, you're just letting them go out and run amok, um, causing danger to the rest of society, well, then I'm sorry, the child and the family all go. If you can't control your children, you've brought them here and they're a menace to society, and you've come from another nation. And I'm not saying it's not just, this isn't just pointed at people from whatever, or any country. No, it doesn't matter where you're from. If you've come here and you're not going to control your flipping children, well, then you all get sent back the next day. That's it. Your child's involved in a violent crime. You're all out, gone, and yeah, just gone. But this is absolutely deplorable, and like I said, the government in Victoria, they just take everyone and treat them like idiots. When you see stories like this, you think, how is this possible? I'll read the one from Vibe Wire magazine. Machete Amnesty bins recently installed cost Victorians $13 million. Now, when I was first reading it, I thought, well, wait, there must be a lot of bins. I mean, 13 million. That's a lot of bins they put out there. And for an amnesty, wow. Okay. And when you read it, you think, wow, they're criminals. They are criminals. They need to be investigated for criminal behavior, for fraud. This is criminal behavior. A machete amnesty will run from 1st of September till 30th of November. So what's that? 3 months? 3 months it's going to run for. I'm assuming that's all I have these bins for. 3 months. To support the safe disposal of machetes. Safe disposal bins will be installed at select police stations across metropolitan and regional Victoria. You can hand in a machete without penalty during this time. However, this article says, How in the heck could a 1 meter high steel metal bin to receive the knives cost $325,000? And and then I realized, one, one bin, which is only 1 meter high, $325,000. Really? Oh, wow. That equates to 325,000 for each Machete Amnesty bin, or 13 million for all 40 bins. Only 40 bins. 13 million. I first read it thinking 13 million, there must be a lot of bins out there. No, 40 bins. And they are only going to be used for 3 months, as this is as long as the amnesty is planned to run. And you wonder why Victoria is broke and hopelessly in debt. It is inconceivable this amount could ever be charged for such a poorly constructed bin. In Victoria, they don't have a government, they have a criminal money laundering syndicate running the state. Absolutely. How is this possible? It does seem like this is a criminal organization. Surely that is fraud. How can it cost that much? I built myself a fairly sizable garage just only a couple of years ago. Did not cost me 300 and something thousand to build it. Didn't even cost me a third of that amount. So how does it cost for a 1 meter high bin? How does it cost that much? Is there something magical about the bin? You drop it in there and it instantly transports the machete to another place? Is that what's going on? This is criminal. This is fraud. They, I don't have anything else to say. This is criminal behavior. They need to be investigated. The whole government needs to be pulled down. It needs to be pulled down and investigated for criminal behavior. Jacinta Allen is the head of a criminal organization that is ripping off Victorians, ripping off Australians. This needs to be investigated. This is disgusting. Australia, we are being treated as if we're idiots. It doesn't cost $325,000 to make a 1 meter high metal bin, for crying out loud. That's just my opinion. Jacinta Allen needs to be investigated, her and her government. She is the head of a criminal organization. This is criminal. That's my opinion.
They just fuel a desire that will take me higher. I'm on fire because nothing's gonna bring me down. Nothing's gonna bring me down. Nothing's gonna stop me now. No more demons to be done. Nothing's gonna focus on the goal. Nothing's gonna stop me now. Nothing's gonna hold me down. Got my eye on the prize. Got my eye on